Welcome to Yalza, a snack-sized slice of Viennese classical music and Austrian culture. I'm your host, Daniel Adam Maltz. This Yalza is a highlight from Classical Cake Opus 3. In this excerpt, we're talking with Alexander Krackofer from the Haydn birthplace in Wurau, Austria, about the relationship between Joseph Haydn and Beethoven. Haydn first met the young Beethoven in 1790. And in 1792, Beethoven began taking lessons from Haydn, but Beethoven being famously temperamental, they didn't get along.
For his second and during staying in Vienna, Beethoven came to Haydn. They had kind of lessons, but by this time Haydn was like over 60 years old. He had done no music teaching in years. But he wanted to keep his promise, because when Haydn promised something, he kept his promise. And young Beethoven, he was not only a different kind of personality, he was a completely different generation. Around 1790, it's just like 1 year after the French Revolution. Beethoven was a little radical in his views. He admired what happened there. Of course, they did not know what would come out of this, like Napoleon and the wars hadn't happened yet. When Beethoven and Haydn came together, I think Beethoven, he admired Haydn, and he said the very early works of Beethoven, they are a mirror of Haydn, and Mozart's music just worked through Beethoven's mind. And that's fascinating, because Beethoven, he had the ability not only to take something from here and there and make something completely new and very powerful out of it. Also, Haydn could see there was a genius, another genius, like his good friend Mozart. And as Beethoven, like Mozart, was much younger than Haydn, Beethoven even more, I think Haydn felt like a little like a father figure. But as it happens, fathers and sons, they always have quarrels, and so Haydn and Beethoven did. And probably it was not only the views Beethoven had on the French Revolution and probably the modern kind of political system to come up, and Haydn being more like traditional, growing up around Vienna with the court and all its people. And I guess they had quite a lot of discussions, but like father and son discussions where they say, okay, what is your intention? What do you want to do? And somehow Beethoven kept the respect for Haydn all of his, also unfortunately short life, but working together did not work for too long.
Yeah.
You mentioned the guards in front of his house. This was right after Napoleon had his big victory over the Habsburg army. And Napoleon sat there in the Schönbrunn Palace, residing there basically, and Haydn was not too happy about it, was like mumbling around and playing the Empress anthem he had composed some years earlier, and he was not keeping his mouth shut, so he was saying quite bad things about Napoleon, and I think Napoleon wanted to meet Haydn, and so he'd send some officers of probably the Imperial Guard, it would have been, to Haydn and said, His Majesty, Monsieur l'Empereur would like to meet you. And Haydn said, no, this short man with his big head, I won't see him. I guess the words were not too friendly at all, and somehow the officers had to explain to Napoleon that Mr. Haydn would not see the Emperor. And so Napoleon sent 2 guardsmen to guard the front of the house, but it was more like house arrest, but officially they put it as a guard of honor.
Written history is different than sometimes the truth.
Yes.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and be sure to join the conversation in the comments. This video was a highlight from Classical Cake Opus 3, Who Was Joseph Haydn Part 2. Visit classicalcake.com for more. I'm Daniel Adam Maltz. Bis zum nächsten Mal.